do that.
Disappeared. There we go. We are live. Hello. Happy Friday. If you know, you should know who we are by now. We look quite blue, actually. Maybe it's the light.
Are we really dark, everybody?
Is it dark? It does look a bit dark. Anyway, we are Stay at Home Tennis. This is Joe. I'm Scott. If you haven't seen our Instagram thing, you won't know that you need 2 floor items.
We are using placemats again.
You need a tennis racket each, and you need a ball. Someone has said yes. We are looking quite dark. I don't know what we can do to improve that.
I'm going to try.
No, there is no light bulb.
Sorry.
Sorry. Okay, maybe I have to turn your brightness up, don't know. Right, so yes, you need 2 floor items, you need a racket, and you need a ball each, okay? The first things you will need are your 2 floor items. So I'll hand you over to Joe.
Okay, so this is an exercise that we did earlier on this week. I'm going to put these down on the floor, and move this way around so you can see them. And if you pass me a ball, please, Scott. I think you'll need a ball as well. So as you will know if you've done this before, Friday is our best of day. So we're going to be doing exercise that we've been doing throughout the week. So this one here will be me starting in between the 2 items. I will throw the ball up into the air on the outside of one of the items, and I will do a little loop around before I come back over and catch. I need to make that a little bit wider. So you can see this is definitely wider than my shoulders. My legs are quite wide here, and it's still wider. So I will throw it up, go around the item, and then come back and catch, and go again. Okay, always trying to get it after the 1 bounce. Okay, it shouldn't be really easy for you. You can't have your items super close together. Doing this, that's far too easy. It's meant to be a challenge. You're meant to be reaching for that target. So in fact, I'm going to make it a little bit wider so that by the time I get round, it's quite low. Okay.
I'm going to be making it smaller because last time I really struggled at this one. Right, go on, Joe, you're going to go first.
Okay.
Ready, 3, 2, 1, and off you go. 30 seconds to see how many you can do.
That on the count.
So throw it beyond the 2nd item and recover round the 1st item. That's it. So Joe's doing really, really fast footwork. That's it. You should be able to hear him. Oh, he's not going to get. Oh, he did reach that one. This is why Joe has the advantage on this one because he has a very, very long reach. That was fantastic. How long have you got left? You have 3, 2, 1, and stop there. How many did you get?
13.
13, right. I need to practice. I'm going to bring it in because I'm a little bit shorter. So. Oh!
Just about got it there.
Just about got it.
Reach.
There we go. Right, there you go. I've got the hang of it now. I've got the hang of it. I can do it. Okay, ready. 2nd chance.
No, I can't actually do time today. Tomorrow, watch some probably.
Oh, how come?
I don't know.
Oh,
It went funny at some point yesterday and hasn't quite worked again.
Right, ready.
Right, is everyone ready? Round number 2 starts now.
We've got a score. Oh, that does not count. I blame
Right, get that one. I had nothing to do with that. Or that one. Look at me, I'm just standing in the corner. Scott's unable to catch. This is his own fault. Hopefully you're doing better at home, everybody.
I know.
Hey, he's got his first score. So you see it goes up. He's quick around before he recovers back over. Perfect. Risky form of catching there, Scott.
Yeah.
Knowing how poorly we catch like this with this ball. Ah. And stop there. Scott, would you like to announce to the adoring public what your scores?
I got 4.
Oh.
4. How many did people get? Jack, you beat me by loads. Marina, well done. You beat me by loads as well. Fantastic. Hey, it's Daniel on his 2nd account. How many accounts do you have, Daniel? Okay, right. We are going to still use these items. Okay, and you need a tennis racket now. So I'm going to put my tennis ball on the floor. I'm holding my racket. If you were here, what day was this? Do you remember?
I don't remember. It might have been Tuesday, to be honest. Quite early in the week.
This is our balancing exercise. Okay, so we're keeping the ball on the floor. I'm balancing on one leg. Okay, and I've got to move this ball in a figure of 8 round the 2 items without putting my other foot down on the floor. Okay, it's harder than it looks. Okay, and I'm not making it look too easy. Right, so give that a go. You can change over legs halfway through if you want to.
Okay, double check first of all, make sure that both items are within your reach. Because obviously if I move this over here and Scott has a go, he's going to be almost...
I'm going to have to do this to try and reach it, okay? So it's got to be, you know, you do have to be slightly off balance when you're reaching it. Okay, right, 30 seconds.
Okay, is everyone ready?
A complete figure of 8 is 1, okay?
Okay, your 30 seconds starts, and now. Got the timing there, very good. Scott's making his own theme tune while he does this one.
Yeah.
And as he goes
So
around.
guess the theme tune.
Indeed. So remember my approach earlier on this week was to try and go really, really, really fast.
Can you
But I
change? Are we
wasn't-
allowed to change hands?
I suppose so. I wasn't always going to be able to keep my balance when doing it, whereas Scott went slow and steady. However, I managed to just about get ahead in the end. 3, 2, 1, and stop there.
5.5. 5.5. So that means it's 6, right?
Well, by my rounding up, that would be 8, I think.
8, 11.
As of yesterday.
So I got 5.5. Did anyone beat me? Okay, right. I'll let Joe have a little practice go. Is that enough for him? Yeah?
Yeah,
Looking
cool.
pretty
I
good.
felt pretty good just then, to be honest.
Looking pretty good. Okay, right. Time starts. Whoops. Time starts now. What scores did we get? We got 11 from Jack. Well done. 8 from Carl. That is some speedy figure of 8s there, guys. Okay, if you find it easy, challenge yourself because you should feel that you're really having to work hard to stay balanced. It shouldn't be an easy task. Okay, my legs were working overtime to keep me balanced, keep me upright. Okay, and stop there.
Oh, you get the old and so early. I stopped too early.
How many did you get, Joe?
5.5 as well.
5.5. We are just equally as good as each other. Okay. He's replaying it in his head. Okay, you
Maybe
do not
6,
need your 2 items now. You can discard them safely.
Throw them onto the sofa.
And we are going to move on to one of our favourite exercises of
and
the
the
week.
favourite exercise of somebody who joined us this week as well.
Absolutely. I don't think they have tuned in today. It is the wall sit. So what you have to do is you have to sit against a wall. Okay, and you've got to try and make it so that your legs are like a tabletop. So they've got to be flat. Okay, and then you've got to bounce the ball next to you as many times as you can. Your thighs should be burning on this one.
Okay, so you should have a nice flat back because you're up against the wall. Legs down like this. You shouldn't have your knees too far ahead or too far back.
Absolutely. Right. I'm going to go straight into this one. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go! So find a wall, find maybe a back of a sofa. Okay, you've got it, you can, or if you don't have anything to lean against, you'll have to squat down and do it. Okay, but try and stay down as low as possible. It's quite a tricky task. Okay, the bouncing is just to add a little bit of coordination to this as well because you've got to keep it under control when you are not allowed to move, essentially. Right, let us know how many you get. Time's up.
128.
I think that is a huge score.
That was
last time.
no, I did 2 more than last time.
Oh, right.
Last time I got 126.
Right. Okay, can you go straight into the show so I don't have to stay in there?
Just pausing and resetting the timer there. Okay, right, everybody, round number 2, or if you've got a different person, you could have stood up for a second. I was going to, just in case anybody at home's having 2 goes, they might want a little rest between.
Yeah, give it a little shake out. Okay.
Indeed.
Shake about. Right, ready.
Okay, right, is everyone at home ready? Set yourself up in the position. Your time will start. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh.
Scott's not going to have a particularly good score this time, I don't think. What Scott is doing a lot better though is he is definitely sat down. You can actually see in the camera there. He is very, very, very flat. Oh, he's going very fast. Very, very fast there. I wonder if it's going to help. How are your thighs, Scott? Okay, and stop there.
Woo! 142! My thighs are burning. But it's a good distraction. It distracts you from, what's happening here. Okay, 142. I was going absolutely supersonic there.
He
I
was.
was trying to keep count. Right, and moving on.
So we're going to move on to an exercise that we actually did yesterday.
Shockingly bad.
And we both did pretty poorly, but Scott in particular did not so well. So we're hoping to step this up a little bit yesterday. I believe you got a number that began with 2. So yours was in the 20s, and I think I was 40, low 40s.
Oh, I thought I actually got 2, to be honest. Okay, right. What scores did we get? 108 from Bruno, 47 from Marina, 93 from Jack, 85 from Carl. Very, very good. What type of tennis balls were you using? I think we have a little slide. I don't know if there's an advantage using a sponge ball or not. I don't know.
And I guess it's just whenever you get
really fast.
In the same sense, when I'm at the tennis club, I sometimes go really low to the floor.
Yeah, I know. It's literally. I can't.
But I think you just get used to whatever ball and the weight and the speed of it. Anyway.
So this is the edgy challenge. You've got to have your racket like this, and you've got to be balancing your ball on the edge.
Balancing.
I said that last time as well. You've got to be tapping up, the ball on the edge of the racket, just like that.
Just like that.
Just like that. Do you know, I blame the racket. No, I don't.
Do you?
You've got to be very, very careful, to keep it going, because it will go all over the place. If you've got a heavier ball, it'll be a little bit easier on this one. So if you do have a yellow ball, try it with that. Okay, sponge balls are particularly difficult to do this one.
You don't have any feeling of hitting the ball.
It kind of flies off like that. That's my excuse anyway. Ready? Go on, Joe. Do us another 30 seconds.
Okay, I'll do another 30 seconds. Scott, I've got an extra ball here just in case. I'm not going to throw it.
Thank you. You're just going to throw it at my face.
Bang, just you. Okay, right, your time starts, everybody, now. Wait, pause. Stop. You have dark sky. There you go. Right, sorry about that, everybody. You're going to have to stop and reset.
Oh.
Notifications on Scott's watch as we're getting in the way.
Ready?
Right, everybody, your time starts now.
There you go. Now we're starting.
Okay, so make sure you're counting every single touch is a score. Okay? So you have 10 seconds. There are some people who are amazing at this. I think I said yesterday, I've got a friend who can spin her racket around and then still keep bouncing on there. I've seen other people do it with 2 rackets at once. I think that's incredible. I'm nowhere near that standard, but then I never practice this. Okay, you've got less than 5 seconds left. And stop there.
32. I did improve my score. There we go. Right.
Well done, Scott.
Let us know what your scores were. If you tuned in yesterday, let us know if you beat your score from yesterday as well. Okay, ready? We're going to have another go. Starting in 30 seconds. And off you go. Let's see if you can beat your scores. Okay, it's a tricky challenge. You'll notice we end up just doing a few and having to catch the ball. That might be a method you guys do as well. Okay, you've got to be super, super focused on the frame of your racket. Okay, you're halfway through. How many scores did we get? Carl's using red balls. They're quite good to use. 23 from Marina, 29 from Jack, 31 from Bruno. Fantastic. Some good scores. And stop there. 46. Wow, that is a fantastic score.
Don't know if that was any better than yesterday. My feeling was that 46 is what I got yesterday, but I could be wrong. I know it was in the 40s.
Did you beat the person who you're challenging this with? Did you beat your parent? Did you beat your sibling? Did you beat us?
Carl, did Savannah beat you? That's what
Is
we
Savannah
all
doing it today?
desperate to know.
Absolutely. Okay, right, we're moving on. So at the skills of the week now that we were covering. So we are going to do one of our favourite ones. We don't need that just yet. We need our 2 targets again.
That's what I wanted.
So Joe's going to do this one.
Got my 2 targets again. I'm going to put them back on the floor. Now, actually, if you were here with us earlier on this week, you'll remember that I was abysmal at this, and I got a score of 0. Very strong 0.
The only way is up.
I mean, I reckon I could draw, to be honest. Got that ability. So what we're going to do is you're going to practice hitting the ball onto those small targets. So this is where this is where players earlier this week were using a playing card. They were using a square of tissue. Things like this. Small targets is what we're aiming for. This would be a lot easier if I was using a cushion, but also the ball can bounce. So what I'm going to do is hit from one to the other. using both sides of the racket, trying to hit those targets. Oh, very close. Okay, so remember the girl score, Scott and I had 2 scores last week. You know, the score that we actually got and the score that we pretty much needed.
Yeah, we had a fake score.
Okay.
Let us know what your targets are as well. You know, what are you using? Are you being creative? Are you using DVD cases? Are you using what are these called? Coasters. You could use anything. Okay. Let us know what you are using. So 30 seconds. I'll let Joe go first, so I know what score I've got to try and beat.
You beat me.
Okay.
You beat me earlier on this week by 1.
By 1, because I got 1.
It's not saying low.
Ready? 30 seconds starting now. Remember, you're going on both sides of the racket. So you're going forehand and then backhand. You'll notice that Joe's staying nice and low as well. Stay nice and low. You have much better control. Sorry, Joe. I was in his way. Okay. And then he's quickly doing side steps across. So he goes forehand, side step, backhand, side step. That's it. He's getting closer and closer. He's got it! Happy days!
Oh my goodness.
I feel like I'm that guy who does the live commentary.
No.
And stop there. On the Spaniel Speedway. Right, okay, how many did you get?
2.
He got 2! Happy day. Look at that.
I can't even say there's a 200% increase because it's not. It's
not.
I've gone from 0 to 2. That's not a percentage at all.
Can I get a little cheeky practice?
So Scott's going to have a little cheeky practice. Let us know what you did. Did you manage to beat us? If you did, if you beat me, I also want to know what you were using. Okay, were you using the same as us?
Oh, got it there. Right, there you go.
Were you using the same as us or are you using something different? Is your target bigger, smaller? We want to know those kind of things too. Right, everybody, are you ready? Round number 2 starts now.
I'm going to do this.
I'm going to get right out of Scott's way. I'm not going to be in his way like he was for me.
That was basically 1, that.
Basically 1 being not
That
one
was
at all.
1, that hit, it moved.
What moved?
Thingy. There you go, 2.
That one, I believe, moved. Not sure I agree with the first
I'm
one.
going all over the place.
Okay, you've got 6 seconds left, everybody.
Oh.
That was an interesting one. And stop there.
Okay, I got 2 on that one as well.
Well done, Scott. We both improved today.
We did improve. I got a 100% increase.
You did,
So
absolutely.
you've got an exponential increase. It was fantastic. Right.
It's almost like doing this every day.
3 from
Makes
Bruno,
you better
2
at
from
tennis.
Jack. We use cards. Well done. Absolutely. Yes, it's true. Absolutely. It shows that we're improving all together at Stay at Home Tennis by Joe and Scott. Okay, the next one.
You want to start here and you repeat that. all the time.
Exactly. The next one. Oh, right. We need to move the whatever your targets are out of the way. Okay. And what's the next one, Joe?
Okay, so the next one that we're going to do is going into our volleys. So we were just practicing our ground stroke direction, then we're going to go into our volleys now. So this was an exercise that we did, not yesterday, Tuesday. Could I have the ball, please? So what's going to happen is Scott's going to practice his racket direction. I will throw the ball to him, and then I'm going to move to a different direction, into a different position. So Scott has to change just a tiny bit where the ball's going to go. It looks a little bit like this. So I throw it to him, and I will move. And he's going to try and get it back to me. And I might try and chuck him a little bit. It's not working. I could throw it to his backhand as well. And he's just going to have to see where I go and make sure that ball comes back to me. Oh, not quite. There we go.
Quite an unnerving exercise, this. Because your target is always moving.
Make sure when you are, if you're playing in a 2 and you are the target player, make sure that you throw and move straight away. You shouldn't be moving when they hit the ball. Okay, because if I'm moving when he hits the ball, he can't possibly get it to me because I can easily just get out of the way.
Unless you can use the force to move the ball. But I haven't learned that ability yet, so maybe you have. If you're on your own, you have to do this against the wall, and you are hitting it out to the side, and you're tracking the ball. Okay, so you're moving along your wall. Okay, so you're doing like both rolls at the same time. Right, let's go. Hopefully you've been practicing that. And you're just directing the face of my racket is always pointing to my target, i.e. Joe.
Okay, right, are we ready, everybody? Your time starts now.
Okay.
So Scott's going to do the counting here while I'm doing the throwing, making sure that I don't just drop the ball all over the place. Okay. Let us know if you're doing this in pairs or if you're doing this on your own. We are interested to know. Some of you we can guess, but sometimes we don't know. Oops, Daisy. Okay. And stop there.
Ooh, 20! 20 on target. Super. Right, we're going to change over roles. I'll move over here. Okay. Right, you do the counting.
Okay. Boss man.
Boss man.
It's my lovely nickname for Scott.
Okay, ready? 30 seconds. See if you can beat your previous score. See if you can beat us. So I got 20. Let's see what you get. 30 seconds starting now. Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot to move, didn't I? That's it. Oh, this is quite difficult. I'm going to catch like that. Oh my lord. Sorry, Joe.
Well, I'm going to get a terrible score because Scott can't catch.
I'm going to work with you like that. There you go. Woo. That's it. We're concentrating. I'm having to really focus on catching and stop there. How many did you guys get? What did Joe get?
I got 19.
19.
So I managed one less than Scott in that time.
Right, okay. Next activity. We're just going to set something up because we need our...
We're going to use our yoga mat here because we're going to do some serving. And as you know, if you've watched any of us before, we can't do this in our living room, so we get down on the floor to do this. If you're a child, you could, or you're just a shorter adult. That's not a problem as well. Okay, so let us know some of your scores. Let's have a little look. Come on, everybody, send some through. We've had 2 goes in, received no scores.
There we go. Right.
So we will be moving on to some serving, as we've just seen there. Marina and Dad, 22. Marina and Dad, 22. Very good. Better than both Scott and I.
That's very good.
Very nice. Well done.
Who was doing the volley work there? Because that shows that they were doing some fantastic control. Right, moving on to the serving exercise. The serving exercise we chose from Wednesday, I believe, is one where we're practicing serving down and serving forwards. So it's practicing your wrist pronation. So Joe's alternating between those 2 options. This is his first one.
Okay, starting in my trophy pose, racket up behind my head and here. So I'll go down to my partner.
And then I throw it back to Joe.
And then next time I will hit it straight to him.
Ooh, you've got to make sure you do it nice and slowly so that your partner can catch it. Okay? Because we are super, super close. You may have a little bit more space, you may not. You just got to be careful.
And if you can, still try to make sure that your contact is up nice and high. I think Scott on Wednesday did this particularly well. He was very, very good at reaching his contact up nice and high to do this. Mm-hmm. So one more. So just as you see, alternating between the floor, taking it down to the floor, and then straight into my partner's hands. Ooh. Sorry, Scott. So what I'm practicing here is changing that racket angle, getting over the ball or keeping it a little bit more flat. Now, both of these things are very useful when you do serving. Right, Scott, I'm actually going to let you go first.
Oh, okay. One thing we didn't necessarily talk about was the role of the catcher. They can make sure that they're in a really low, nice, ready position like this, so they're ready to react to catch the ball. Okay, so you're in you're practicing the role of the returner there as well. Okay, you're not going to just stand like this and let the ball hit you. Okay, ready? I'll do the timing. Okay. So 30 seconds, starting now.
You're going to count.
So, okay.
Okay, so you can see I'm in a nice low ready position here. I'm very, very ready for that ball. Okay, always here. If you're being super special, you could even add a little split step in there when the opponent's about to hit the ball. We did a little bit of split steps last week when we were doing some volley practice, if you were here with us. Okay, as you can see, Scott's contact is nice and high. It's well over his head when he's doing this. Very nice.
Oh, stop there. My timer didn't really work very well, so we'll stop it. Okay, I got 11 on that one, guys. Okay. One thing I think I needed to work on looking at the camera was I started here all the time. So getting into that trophy pose as well every time. Okay, it's what we're
something that's very, very, very easy to accidentally slip into. You see lots and lots and lots of tennis players at club level, even pro level, who have their elbow tucked down low, especially when they're just doing an abbreviated serve.
Okay, ready? I'll make sure the timer works properly. Okay, let us know your scores. I got 12. On your marks, get set, go. Joe, you do the counting. That's it. And you might ask, whoops. Oh, Joe.
Got one.
You might be asking, why would you practice hitting down when you're on the serve, when you're trying to hit it over the net? This is good practice for your throw accuracy. You can't hit down if the ball is over your head. And it's also good practice for your wrist pronation, i.e. developing power and spin. So that's why this is why we're practicing this particular exercise. And stop there. How many did Joe get?
10.
10. Okay, so we got 12 and 10. Let us know your scores. Okay. Were you doing it on a mat? Could you do it standing up? Hopefully you've got softer balls to do this with. Yellow balls is quite challenging.
We'd ask if you were doing it in your garden, but based on the weather outside, probably
I
not.
know, it's a bit grim, isn't it? It's one of the
I think that's why it's so dark in our room today.
worst days of lockdown. It appears to have gone lighter. I think the webcam has improved. Okay, right. Moving on to the final activity, I think. Is that right? Yeah?
Yep.
It is our challenge of the week, which is circle and tap challenge. So,
You can do the explanation.
I'll do the
next
explanation.
week.
Do you remember your scores? Hopefully you've tuned in every day this week.
I've got something to add, because yesterday I said to Scott that I think I got 14, but then I was a bit unsure. So I actually looked back at the video and I didn't get 14, I got 15 last week, which is half of what I thought, but I got confused because I paid attention to Scott.
He re-watched it all. So luckily we've got video evidence to prove that. So I got...
You got 14.
14. I got 14, he got 15. Okay, right. So, a little recap of what you have to do. You have to do a circle around the ball. Then you have got to do 2 taps. Then you have to repeat that as many times as possible. 1 circle and the 2 taps equals 1 point. You've got to see how many points you can get. Okay, I'm going to try and do a more steady approach today, because when you get the reason why we do these time challenges is because it adds pressure. And you've got to be able to perform under pressure in tennis, because otherwise your technique breaks down, your footwork breaks down, and then you're more likely to make a mistake. So I'm going to try and stay nice and calm and relaxed and not have a laughing fit, as I've always done.
Whereas my approach today is going to be to absolutely rip through it, because I've already smashed my score this week. I'm very happy with 15. If I don't beat 15, I'm still pretty happy. But I'm going to try to go super fast. So excuse me if my ball goes all over the place.
So we're
you might want to move over a bit.
So yeah, I'm going to go into the other room, I think. Right, okay, let's see which approach works. On your marks, get set, go!
Laughing already.
And stop there!
Come on!
15!
16.
Boom! Oh, I ended up... So the reason why I started laughing was I was doing the ball taps and I was going around like this. It was like something out of dressage. But anyway, let us know your scores. We've got the highest of the week so far.
Indeed. On that occasion, I wasn't paying attention to Scott at all. So I think actually, interestingly enough, not paying attention to someone else while I'm doing it might make me better.
Is that the lesson of the week, though? Listen to Scott.
No, don't pay attention to Scott while you're doing an activity.
Well, then 18 from Bruno, 17 from Jack. Well done. 15 from Dad. That was Carl. 11 from 15 from Marina, 9 from Carl, 6 from Savannah. Well done, guys. Let us know if any of you improved your scores from earlier in the week. Okay, we did. I managed to. It was a bit of an up and down journey. We'll do a quick recap because we're nearly running over time. So things we covered is the first activity was our recover and catch, where you had to throw the ball out to the side, quickly run around an object and then catch it again.
Before we moved on to our balance exercise today, which is our figure of 8, wasn't it? Where we had our targets and we had to go around that figure of 8.
Then we did our wall sit, so that's where you have to really practice your leg strength and start bouncing the ball next to you.
Scott smashed a great score in that one, if you remember. It was the 140s.
Boom.
And then we moved on to our challenge from yesterday as well as today, which is our edgy uppy challenge.
My least favourite.
We both managed to improve. Well, actually, you managed to improve score. I wasn't entirely sure. Hopefully, you all did at home.
Then we did our forehand and backhand target tennis practice, where we were trying to hit those targets side to side.
And we then moved on to our volley challenge, the one where Scott threw the ball to me, and I had to change where depending on where he moved to.
And then we did some targets on the serve, hitting down and then hitting forwards, practicing our pronation.
Before we finish with our competition of the week that we've smashed.
Absolutely.
High five for us. High five for you.
High five. Air high five.
Okay.
That's it. We'll have a new competition of the week next week. We'll be filming a lockdown challenge for you straight after this, so check our social media for that.
If you've got any ideas or things that you'd like us to cover, feel free to send those. Just if you think you've got a good lockdown challenge, film it, send it to us. We can then do it and then send it to everyone else.
And don't forget to send us any videos of the skills of the week as well, because we are very happy to give you feedback on that. Last thing to say is, if you would like to buy us a coffee, you can click on the link in the description. And then, last thing to say, have a fantastic weekend, and hopefully we will see you live on YouTube Monday at 4 o'clock. Have a fantastic weekend, guys. You've been amazing. Adios.
Bye.
Jazz hands.